Hi guys, welcome back again to my YouTube channel. If you're seeing me for the first time, I'm Intentional Favor, and on this channel, I share my life experiences on issues pertaining to faith, lifestyle, studying abroad, social work, and all whatnot. So please, if you'd like to join us, you are more than welcome to do so. Just hit the red subscribe button below as well as notification bell so that I get notified each time I upload new videos. And to you, my amazing returning subscribers, thank you guys so much for always coming back to watch my videos. So today guys, I feel like filming videos about social work, okay? But I'm going to divide them because I can't talk about everything about social work in one particular video. So I have like 3 different video ideas I'll be sharing. So first of all, I think the first one I'll be sharing in this particular one will be about telling you guys about social work. Just an update on my last video about what social workers do, but I'll be focusing on children's social workers. This is based on my experience because I've been practicing as a children's and family social worker in the UK for over 5 months now. Yes, wow, I can't believe it's that long already. Okay, so based on that, I'm going to give you guys insight because I know on my channel I talk about social work, and I want you guys to know about social work and to know if the course is for you, if this profession is for you before coming in, as well as to give you guys insight. So this video can actually help you if you have this insight in case you are preparing for a social work interview. It can also be of help to you because you get an understanding of what social workers do. Because believe me, in social work interviews, most of the times, actually, especially when you are coming, interview for university interview for studying social work, you need to have basic knowledge and understanding of social work and what social workers do. So this can actually help you as you prepare for your interview. And yes, I'm still going to film a video subsequently on social work interview, giving you some questions to expect and giving you answers to those questions just to help you to ace your interview and to come and join me, as I can't wait to have you as my junior colleague. So that's what I'll be talking about in this video. In another video, I'll be telling you the earning of social workers, at least as a newly qualified social worker. How much do social workers earn here in the United Kingdom, based on my experiences of job search and of course current work experience. I will also film a video. The part 3 of this video will be about the common belief. I've seen so many videos, and of course before coming here, in case you are planning to come to the UK, that particular video will help you before you come to the UK to have understanding of social services in the UK. Yes. Who are social services? Who is social services? What is social services? We hear that a lot of time. Taking children from their parents, they hate you, they'll come, all of those stuff. It's all about knowing what social services, what social workers do. So I'm going to be sharing that in the 3rd part of this video, and I hope you enjoy it. So if this is something you are interested in, just keep watching, even as I start with telling you guys what children's social workers do in the UK, and watch out for the part 2 and the part 3 of this video. So guys, without much ado, what do children's social workers do? As a general, is it a cliche? It's actually what it is, okay? What do social workers do? We help. Social work is a helping profession. So social workers, we actually help people. Now, I've been practicing as a children's social worker here in the United Kingdom for about 5 months now. And I've got loads of experience, especially the fact that I've worked with 2 different local authorities in 2 different teams or segments. So social workers, of course, in the UK, in other countries like the United Kingdom and Canada, they actually have different branches or segments of social work, okay? When you finish your undergraduate, when you go and master, you can master in one as a children and family social worker, you can master in medical social work, you can master in occupational social work, you can master in different branches of social work. But here in the UK, what we have, they just categorize it into 2, children and adults. And when you are during your social work training here in the UK, it's usually very generic. So you are taught both children, you are taught both adults. Then it's your decision to make, where do you want to practice, whether as a children's social worker or an adult social worker. In my case, I've been practicing as a children's social worker. Maybe down the line, I might switch and become an adult social worker. That has always been my dream. But because of getting job and all of that, I have to switch, and I'm seriously enjoying being a children's social worker. And as I'm thinking of it now, I don't even think I will still switch. Well, except for one particular title that I'm actually looking for, one particular position I love so much. That's the only reason I might want to switch to adult. I don't want to bore you guys with that. So what do children social workers do? So when you come to a local authority, most times social workers are employed under local authorities. Local authorities, they are government, local government, the council, okay? They are usually employed there. Sometimes you can also work with the NHS. And even when you are in the adult sector, especially mental health, okay, as a social worker, you can be employed by a local authority and you will still be working under NHS. So there are so many ways to that. But I'm not here to talk about adult social work. I'm here to talk about children's social work. So most of the times, children social workers, there is what we call MASH, which is a multi-agency safeguarding hub, which is more like the front line, the entrance where referrals come. So referrals come through them. So referrals can come from anybody. When they send the referral where there are concerns about a particular child, let's say we received a call that this particular child, we saw the parents beating her, or this child is at risk of sexual exploitation, criminal exploitation. This child is at risk of maybe because of disability or anything, basically, then the referral comes in. Maybe there is domestic abuse in parents' relationship. So these are some of the reasons referrals normally come into the local authority, okay? Then we have social workers who work in MASH, what their role is to screen. We call it screening. They look at that referral, they triangulate it, they call different professions. Maybe they will ring school, they will call the police, depending on what the referral is all about. They will call the parents who receive this referral, get their opinion. From all the information gathered from the parents, from agencies and all of that, we now make a decision. They will decide, okay, does this meet threshold? Should social workers be involved, or should we step it down to early help, or should we close it down, seeing that there's no role for social care at this moment? So when that decision. So those are social workers, okay? They also do that. Then there are others that work in different teams, children with disability, fostering and placement, or fostering and adoption. There is the first response team or child in needs team. There is child protection team. Different local authorities, they have how they actually put it, how they have their teams. But commonly, every local authority will have the fostering and adoption. They will have the children with disability team. They will have the children in care, like the children that are going into care. They also have social workers that deal with and all of that. So, but then there are other teams that some people call them first response team, others they just call it duty and assessment, others they call it different thing, okay? So when that screening has come from the social worker, okay, who now decide that, you know what, yeah, there is need for social work assessment to be done, then they pass it on. Then that case is open to social care, is open to social services. A social worker will then be allocated to that particular child. If there are 5 children in that particular family, all of them will be open, okay? And the social worker will be allocated to them. If it's one child, just a social worker too will be allocated to that child. So it's the responsibility of this social worker to complete a child and family assessment. And this assessment is usually very holistic. Now, if you have this understanding, when I'll be giving you guys insight about this fear people usually have about social workers taking their children away from them, you will understand it better, because this is the background to that video that I will film later. So when this happens, the social worker is now the allocated social worker. That's where you hear that this child has an allocated social worker. Though that social worker, within 24 to 48 hours of getting that case allocated to him or her, we need to make contact with the family and go and see those children in their family. So when you go there, you see the children. Of course, you call the parents, you tell them, introduce yourself, and what you now do is that you book an appointment when you will come at home to go and see them. Sometimes it's usually difficult. That's why sometimes we work very late, because there are parents that are working and you won't be able to see them until the close of work day. Sometimes they even work till certain time. Sometimes we have a way of reaching a compromise. But then you go and see the children You discuss the referral with the parents. Look at the information we've got, look at the information we've received. What do you have to say about it? They explain their own part, they say all of those stuff. Then when they finish doing all of that, what you now do is that you also speak with the children. Sometimes we do what we call direct work with the children. We speak with the children. We of course get their wishes and their feelings, of course, and we have skills that we use in doing this. We are not police, we are not what is it called? People that we are not like investigating, we are not CID or all of those stuff. So it's not like we go and question a child. There are ways we obtain the voice of the child. These are the skills that you acquire even during your training, and with practice it keeps improving. Okay, how we actually obtain the wishes and feelings of a child. We don't just ask them direct question. All of that. That's not what I'm here to do in this video. But when you now talk to the children, and of course you get their wishes and feelings, in some cases what the parent is saying is different from what the child is saying. But I think I'll leave that discussion in the video where I'll talk about understanding social services, about the issue of collecting children and all of that. So when that happens, then we finish talk. We talk with the father, we talk with the mother, we talk with the siblings, and depending on the case, now everything is treated case by case. It depends. Every case is unique and peculiar. Depending on the nature of the case, sometimes you might need to speak with other family members, the extended family members, the grandparents, uncles, everybody that is related to that child. Like I said, depending on the situation, depending on what it is like. So afterwards, then the social worker will also contact other agencies, of course, with the consent of the family. Now, cases can be opened under two levels. It's either a child in need level or a child protection. Now, when the referral comes in from MASH, the people that screen it to determine the threshold, if they see that this child is a child in need, a child that needs provision of services, okay, so that child, actually social care involvement is needed, else that child will be at risk. That child is not at immediate risk, but without provision of services, without some involvement, that child could be at significant risk. That is child in need level, section 17. Now there is section 47, the higher level, which is child protection. Now from March, they can actually see that this child is at risk of significant harm. This child is already at risk. Imagine a child that the parents are fighting, and in the process of the fight, maybe they want to throw shoe or anything on to the other, and then it landed on the child, and this child is hospitalized, or this child is this, or the level of violence between the father and mother is so severe that the father is punching the mother, or the mother is punching the father, and there are injuries, and the child or the children are in that home. These children are at risk of significant harm because anything can happen to them in that situation. So if MASH determines that this is what it is, the case already has to be child protection. But before then, there is what we call strategy meeting. Strategy meeting will be held. We will discuss all of these. Professionals that are usually involved in strategy meeting are the social worker. That case will be already allocated. The social worker, of course, a manager will have to share the meeting. Police will be there. Health will be there, and the education. These are the professions that are needed for a strategy meeting. So during that strategy meeting, all the professionals, school will share their views about the child, the family, and everything. Health will share the health information of the child. Police will check the criminal record of the parents and all of that. From all this information we've gathered, and social care will check their history to see if we've had history with this family. We put all of this together, then we make a decision whether these children are at risk of significant harm. If they are at risk of significant harm, then it goes to section 47, child protection, immediately. If they are not at risk of significant harm, we just leave it at child in need level. So that's how we operate, okay? So under child in need level, basically just to find out what are the things, what are the supports that are needed, what are the things that could be put in place to make the family and everything the safest place for this child, to make sure that these children are not at risk of harm. We want to prevent harm, or those children being at risk of harm. When all of that is done, the social worker will complete an assessment. This assessment is usually holistic. You put everything about the child, health, identity, education, the emotional and behavioral development. There's so many things we look at. Also, we assess parental capacity. We look at the parents, look at their capacity, we look about their parenting, we look about their drug and alcohol misuse. We put all of this in together, and then the social worker will make a decision, will make a recommendation. Okay, so with all this in place, what needs to happen? Does this child still need to remain open to social care, still managed under child in need, or Do you think that this could be managed at early help? There are early help workers, support workers that will be working with the family, with the child, and to make things in order? Or do we need to close this case, thinking that there is no need for social services involvement? Or is it something about child protection? So sometimes some cases come as a child in need level. There are no significant harm. But by the time you start completing your assessment, triangulating information from other agencies and other third parties, you find out that this child is actually at risk of significant harm. In that case, it can get escalated to child protection. Okay, so that's usually how it works. Then the child protection, there are processes of conference. You go to the initial child protection conference, the parents and the guardians, they will be invited. There is a chair, somebody that chairs that conference. Then of course we look at everything. The social worker will bring in everything, the report, the history, the evidence, every information that we've gathered. We look at all of that. Health will be there, police, they also share their information. Then when we look at this, they can still decide, does this still need to progress under a child protection plan, or do you close this down, or you step it down rather under child in need? So after the initial child protection conference, then we can now see that, oh wow, this children or this child is actually at risk of harm. It needs to be under child protection plan. So when it's under child protection plan, we always have what is called safety plans. So we put safety plans in place. What are the things that could save this child? That's how in some cases, okay, what usually happens is that they take the children away and maybe place them under the care of their grandfather, grandmother, and uncle, somebody. And in that case, we also need to do what we call viability assessment. We also assess those people to make sure that they are safe to have the children under their care. So you can see that social work, like I'm just going bit by bit, but I hope this video goes out because I'm just assessing myself, and like the way I'm talking is as if like I hope this covers what we actually do as social workers, because I'm not sure who will be watching this video, but this is just to give you guys insight into what we do. We work with people, we work with families, and you know that human beings are not machines. Our work is not more pure science, pure science that is this, you put this together, because you are working with human beings, you're working with individuals. You see a case that is terrifying, you see a case that is this. So basically, these are the things that we do. You work with people, you go and meet them, and sometimes that's why it's very demanding. You hear stories, you hear events, you see things happening, and sometimes it can be emotionally draining. Okay, so this is just to give you guys insight into what social workers do. This is how we operate. This is how we operate. I don't believe this video makes sense. I can't go into everything. The child protection, the plan, child protection plan, things that are there, then the child in need plan, so many things. So social work is so broad. Okay, so when you come into training, remember the essence of this video is just to give you guys insight, knowledge into what social workers do. This can help you in your interview and also help you to know if it's the kind of thing that you want to do. And of course, remember, this is tailored down to children's social work. I didn't talk about the adult because that's not my area of specialization now. Okay, so that's it basically. I didn't go far into adoption and so many things, children with disability, but these are just the basic things, just to give you a rough idea of what social workers do. And I hope that you find this video helpful. If you did and you like it, please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. I can't wait to read your comments. Do you have questions? Are there things that are still not clear? Mind you, you can always go online, and some of this information, they can be found online, okay? But notwithstanding, go ahead in the comment section, let me know if you have further questions or things you need explaining and how useful you found this video. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more videos on social work and living in the UK, and as well as studying abroad. And please share this video with as many people that you think might need it. You never can tell how important it will be to some people. And I'll be seeing you guys in my next one. Until then, stay blessed, remain intentional, and take care of yourselves. Bye.